Are you finding things hard to deal with in the moment? Suddenly, like emotionally, things feel like really, really overwhelming, and you're like, how do I cope with this? This is like crazy. Well, today I want to share with you a process I do for dealing with challenging emotions in the moment. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then as well. Now, if you want to connect with me even further, you can find my links in the show notes below as well. So, I was reflecting on some of my, and it's still kind of I have my ups and downs now and then. I'm human, but I remember having some of my darkest times, hardest times, like just over a year ago, and some real challenges came in my way, and I'd get like quite anxious and quite down at times. So I started to pick out my best personal growth tools and start applying it. Now, of course, I also sat on my feelings and understood that I was going through some very challenging times in my personal and professional life as well. And I would start realizing actually what were the stories my head was playing and what are the meanings I was putting to things. And when I was able to identify that, and even I had to do it many, many times in the day, that really helped me move through. The thing is, our thoughts will create the feelings in our body. We're not always conscious straight away to what the thoughts are, though. That's why you can get triggered off with something, because you go to a place where you had a bad accident or something hard happened in your life. You go back to that environment. Suddenly, you start not feeling good. You feel energy drained. That's because your thoughts are going back to it, even if you're consciously not consciously aware of them at the time. So that probably is quite tough for you, as it is for me, right? When suddenly like you're feeling good and then suddenly you get a low point, right? And you don't even know what's not you, of course, right? So here's my 3-step process I use in the moment. Now, this is how I deal with emotions in the moment. And I've got an extra final point, like I said at the end. But I will say that sometimes you need to do it multiple times a day in the beginning if something's very emotionally charged. I had a conversation with one of my coaches the other day that sometimes things that are emotionally charged, you need to keep practicing going through those emotions again and again. As a tendency for, I say a lot of people do this in personal growth and working their emotions. Oh, I've done it a couple of times, it's clearly not working. No, it's like going to the gym. You don't go to the gym a couple of times and say, oh, I've not got my body and my dreams, so therefore it's not working. No, things take practice, right? So the first thing, observe. Observe what's going on. Observe the emotions and what you're feeling into in that moment. What is going on in your body, and allow yourself to process it, because what we resist persists. I can't remember who said that, but it's a really good quote. What we resist persists. So allow yourself to feel the feeling. If you're feeling a little bit anxious, allow yourself to feel that. Don't identify with it. You are not anxiety, or you're not stress, or whatever you're feeling. You are just experiencing the feeling of it. So the first step is observing, because when you can allow the chemicals to go through your body, they'll eventually push through. The second one, reframe, right? So what's happening right now? Or what's the situation? So just say literally what's happening. Like someone said something that upset me, or I saw something. Well, say you wouldn't say someone upset me. Say someone said something to me, or you said, I saw this. So just literally what's happening. Now ask yourself in this point still, what are you making this mean? So someone spoke loudly to you. You're making this mean that you're in trouble, you're not worthy, you're not good. Now that's going to create negative feelings in the body. Ask yourself this though, what can this actually mean in a greater sense of love? So you see something and it's actually an opportunity to grow, right? So that's the second form. Reframe the meaning you're unconsciously putting to something. Then the third thing, what do you want and what are you going to do about it? Often I feel bad in the moment, don't feel good, because I'm focusing on what I don't want, on all the things that I'm worried about happening. When I start asking myself, what is it I want and what I'm going to do, it completely changes the perspective of where I'm heading. And make sure you ask yourself, what will you do as part of that? Because often we'd be like, okay, well, I want to feel this or experience this or do this right now. But if you're not going to do anything about it, you're not going to move forward. So that's the final one. Okay, final point I really want to share with you. Just want to mention again, though, that if you want to connect with me more on social media, you can find my links in the show notes below. So what I would suggest as well is if something keeps repeating through the week, then you make a note of it on your phone. Like, okay, I was affected by this. And then weekly, just spending either like at least an hour, maybe more if you need it, to really deep dive into what's actually coming up for you and check in with the body and really feel it in the body, because that's going to make it even more powerful as well. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You'll improve other people's lives by working on yourself. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.